Hello, for those watching in the future, you're watching a Gauntlet Hangouts game, which, for those who don't know, the Gauntlet's community in the internet that gets together to play, cool ass role playing games, story games, indie games, all that jazz. There's a link to all the stuff they do down below, gauntlet-rpg.com. There's a blog, there's a monthly zine, there are forums, which came up recently, and yeah, we also have the Hangouts calendar where this game was arranged. This is the last part of our Masks Agents of Aegis playthrough for March. For those who don't know, Masks is a Power Bit Apocalypse game about teenage superheroes trying to figure out who they are through the medium of punching people who probably deserved it. But before we get into like the game and whatnot, we have a bunch to talk to. Let's first kind of meet the players we have here, because you have a mix of like returning here for one session, miss a session or two, so it's all get to know each other first. So I'm gonna call out by my order here on the screen I'm watching, and yeah, I'll just ask to for your name and pronouns you're using, and a cool thing in the internet you want to shout out. You don't have to do that, but like if you don't have anything, that's would be fine. If you do, shout them out. Links will be down below. Start with let's see. Let's go alphabetically on my screen here. Start with yourself, Asher.
Oh, not my character. Hi, I'm Asher. They, them pronouns. This is my second session. I was in the first one, so we'll see how it goes. I guess one cool thing on the internet are these like trip planners I'm gonna try. So there's one called Furkit.com, where you can like put in a trip that you're going on and it'll tell you all these things along the way to check out. So that's a cool thing. Yeah.
I wish we had that when we just came back from vacation, me and the family, and there was a good day, there was a good night of drinking and like, what are we doing tomorrow? We already saw Hamilton. We've done everything we can in London. What are we gonna do? So that would have been really useful. Anything, let's plug links down below. Up next, David, tell us about yourself.
Hi, yeah, my name's David. I use he, him pronouns, and a cool thing on the internet. I'm trying to think if I have actually plugged this yet or not. I may have done, but anyway, the Asians Represent podcast is really cool. It's one of the hosts is a member of the Gauntlet community, and it's a really interesting podcast about RPG, specifically from the perspective of Asian creators and consumers. Specifically at the minute, they are starting or about to start doing, they did like the first session of it, a Masks playthrough of their own. And the first session of that, where they sort of set up the world and stuff, is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I need to give that a listen. Also, I need to shout out an apology to Agatha, who is GMing that mask run. She was on last month's masks run that I ran, and she's basically asked for a fight scene, so she can take notes. And I completely failed to give her a fight scene, so that's my bad. So I just want to shout out an apology to her. But check that out. Joining us for today, Eris, tell us about yourself.
Name's Eris. I'm a biologist. I don't really know. And a cool thing on the internet is youtube.com. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's almost like we needed to be doing this sort of thing. Well, we have it anyway. It's pretty cool. So links down below, youtube.com. Last but not least, Robert, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name's Rob. I use he, him pronouns, and I don't really have a cool thing this week.
That's perfectly fine. In fact, maybe the cool thing you have this week is you. Okay. On that note, let's talk about. Let's move on from that. And before we get into the game itself, let's talk about safety tools, because we try to make sure we're playing in a comfortable environment. So we have a bunch of tools to like just make sure that people have a good time. as they're playing today. So first and foremost, we have the X card, which is basically if we roll into a scene that makes people feel uncomfortable for any reason, you can say you want to X that either on the chat or as in on the Google chat here, or you can make the X symbol on screen or on the Roll for a Party link. There is a button for the X card. So if anyone uses that, if there's anything that makes them feel comfortable for any reason, I might ask why exactly, but no one gets to question if the X card is played. So if it's played, people should respect that. We will roll back and figure out a different tack to go into. We also have lines and veils, which lines are things that won't be crossed, won't show up at all in the fiction. It's not even on the table. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not going to focus on. We'll throw it off screen or throw a veil over it, so to speak. A reminder of players that our lines and veils have a tab on the character keeper, so sure to just make sure keep those in mind. And finally, we have an open door policy. Yes, for basically, if at any point people need to take a break for whatever reason, whether there's an emergency or turns out you just didn't have the energy to do so to play today, or even if you need a break at any time, like even say 10 minutes from now, you suddenly need to pee, that's completely fine. Anyone can call in a break or can leave at any time, and we will try to accommodate them as much as we can. All right, so those are safety tools. Let's get back into the game. So we've been playing masks. We've also been using the Agents of A.E.G.I.S playset, which basically our team of young superheroes have been brought together as a training team by A.E.G.I.S, aka the world's largest law enforcement agency in this superhero world of ours. Well, yeah, basically imagine them as not S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't believe it's not S.H.I.E.L.D. That's basically who they are. And yeah, let's go through our characters then, and then we'll kind of go through our newest character in a bit more extensively because they have some stuff like relationships and influence stuff to look through. But so let's go to order the character keeper. I just want you all to introduce kind of like their character, their playbook, and kind of like their pitch and a cool fact about them. Okay, let's see. There should be cool facts about them. Oh God. Well, if there's not, that's fine. But like, let's start from the left of the character keeper. Asher, tell us about Sol Garza, or otherwise known as the Glorious Gekko.
Glorious Gekko. Oh, so talk about them first, not just a fun fact. So they're a protege with a mentor who is, what's the mentor's name? Consonance. So they both have body camouflage, and then the mentor is good at weapons and gear, and I'm good at hacking. And they give us all a supercomputer, communicators, and false ID. Glorious Gekko has like a shifting gender, Latinx, athletic body. Yeah, and my mentor told me not to trust A.E.G.I.S as much, so we'll see if that gets me in trouble.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, I'll ask you for this later, but you weren't there in the previous mission, and you don't need to have a reason for why you were probably pulled out. But if you could come up with one, that's fine. We'll recap the mission after we go through character introductions, and then after that we'll go through our new character stuff, and then jump you into this hopefully a climactic enough mission. And okay, so
Did we finish the last mission then?
yes, the last mission did get finished. I'll recap it later once we get
Okay.
through the character stuff. But yeah, let's go to our next character, our brain. Robert, tell us about our brain.
So I'm playing Kevin Ryback, who goes by the call sign Loki. He's a genius roboticist programmer who accidentally created a artificial intelligence that almost enslaved humanity.
Is that their cool fact?
Well, I wouldn't call it cool.
Yeah, no one ever like sets out to create an evil artificial intelligence. It's always accidental, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So, that cool fact has caused Loki a lot of angst, and we'll find out more about that later. Up next are just happy to be their beacon. David, tell us about the Spectre.
Yeah, certainly. Spectre is in the Beacon playbook. His human identity, his normal identity, civilian identity, that's what I was looking for, is Caetano Ventura, or Kai. He is mixed race Brazilian and African American. He is a skilled he's a skilled athlete and gymnast, both sort of athletics and acrobatics and sort of track and field type stuff. He is in terms of his like superhero skill set, he doesn't have what you might call classical powers, but he is, as I said, quite athletic and quite good at stealth and blending in. As I say, his superhero identity is Spectre. He used to go by the Shoreline Spectre when he was a vigilante working out of the sort of the docks in the city in his home district. But he was subsequently picked up by the feds and drafted into A.E.G.I.S. And a cool fact about him is that he had a career as a graffiti artist before joining into the superhero world.
Oh yeah, I just remembered that. On some fun shenanigans with Spectre at school from way back in December. Check out if anyone's watching this. Sometimes I know sometimes people comment on these videos. It's amazing. I don't know who they are, but thanks for watching. But yeah, last but not least, our newest character. Whereas we're gonna go through all the backstory stuff, but give us like the pitch on Michael, on our Nova.
Yeah. So his name is personal name is Michael. Although you guys will probably not know his real name. His hero name is Purple, mostly because of the purple colors that come out of his eyes and around him, etc., etc. When he uses his powers, he is very, very powerful. Not because he wants to be, just because he is. He looks like your most usual teenage, dresses in black, and not like not emo or anything like that. The usual teenage that's kind of half a loner, has like few friends, usually is alone, rather stay at home than go out and do parties and stuff like that. But yeah, he hides this giant, enormous power in him. Hides. He can't really hide it, but
That's fair. I mean that is a prerogative in Nova. It's then again, yeah, your powers are like telekinesis and stuff, but you shoot out like purple from.
So
yourself?
he doesn't exactly shoot purple, but when he uses his powers, there's this purple hue that's all around, everywhere, kind of like that's basically his powers.
Interesting. So let's go to your backstory then. I'll just ask questions and answer them for the benefit of the broadcast. So when did you first use your powers?
So he basically got his powers when he was born, maybe a little before that, and you could probably guess what happened.
Yeah.
To the next question, which explains what happens.
Yeah, who's the first person you accidentally hurt with your powers?
Probably like half the hospital where he was born. He didn't have the easiest birth, you could say. He doesn't have his original parents, obviously.
So who outside the team helps you control your powers then?
So right after he was born, A.E.G.I.S basically took him in as someone. They didn't exactly train him or anything like that in particular. They just took him in, like, because they noticed he has a lot of power, and put him in foster homes, etc., etc. Tried to give him a child's life, and they basically kind of tried to teach him how to use his powers as much as they possibly could. And that's probably why he's here right now, because it's like he didn't succeed in some group in the past, some hero group that he was part of. It didn't really work out. And now he's trying maybe through, I guess, to do something.
Yeah, it says here you have like a personal contact with an Aegis as like your current powers trainer. Do you have a name for that person, or do you want me to like?
I think you have someone who's training in development, right? So
Yes. Okay. I was gonna give you a choice because part of getting handlers in the character creation process, it depends on what playbooks are in play. But I'm gonna give you a choice. Do you want the person who's explicitly about training and developing people, or do you want the person that's assigned to your team because you chose the Nova playbook?
Now, I think like as I grew up, they kept changing whoever trains me. So maybe the current one is the person who's the liaison right now. Like that's the current one, basically. That's why I'm part of this team right now, because she put me in.
Okay.
They needed firepower.
Yeah, ooh. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. So your okay. The name of your handler then is Agent Portia Corellios. She's a person who's really interested in superpowered people and superpowers and how they come about. We've met her a few times. She's a bit mad science-y, a bit, but she knows how Aegis works. So why do you continue to use your powers?
Basically, I have to. Like, they always work, whether I use them or not. Like, they just function by themselves if I don't. So I learn how to constantly use them in order for them not to just go out of control. So I have to use them.
Ooh. So finally, do you even care about this team? That's good. Let's be blunt.
Let's be blunt. No, I do not. I just think it's a good try to see maybe I can get into another team, like unlike the team that failed. And I thought maybe A.E.G.I.S could help me with it, and they put me kind of in this team basically. Like, so I'm like, okay. Cool.
Okay, so let's say then that you obviously you weren't part of the first mission, because the first mission the team had involved one of the other characters who has since been reassigned.
Mm-hmm.
No, she is properly reassigned. She might come back. Who knows? But I think you might have met them maybe at some point. You know, if you hang around long enough, maybe like, because the thing is, this Sirius team is also fairly new-ish, but maybe in kind of like in the background of when we're playing, the A.E.G.I.S has been carefully trying to like, hey, do you want to hang out with these teenagers? You know, I mean, they're your age. That's kind of like how I'm just having these relationships.
Yeah, the response would probably be whatever.
All right, let's see what two relationships you have. And apologies for anyone watching. I will let off one or two little coughs like that throughout this. But yeah, let's see what your two relationships are. First up is you hang out all the time with blank to blow off steam. Any one of these three?
Yeah, I don't think I know history at all. So
okay, so all right,
not
so
one.
You're just gonna be okay. All right, okay. I like. Yeah, that's fine. We can definitely go with.
Yeah, I have
you're
friends.
Just gonna be inserted into the team. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, you're friendly, but you won't have a relationship with them. That's fine with me.
The second question might be able to be answered.
Ooh. Okay.
Like, I do lose control of my powers sometimes. Anyone want to volunteer?
Anyone volunteer to be hurt? That's
to have been hurt. Maybe when I was born, someone was hurt.
Yeah, because the thing is, none of these other heroes started with A.E.G.I.S, so they could have had a run in like, maybe not when you were born, but like, you know, just growing up. They've been hurt before.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a time before now and when you were born.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
Well, I don't know. This is
lose
time.
control over my powers.
What are your powers?
So they look like telekinesis and telepathy, but they're like far beyond that. Like basically anything he wants, just he doesn't know that yet.
So maybe you hurt someone, but they didn't know it was you or something.
Well, it could be because his telepathy is very strong. He might cause you a headache without his knowledge. Like he's always like everywhere, basically. So he's like, what can I do?
Or maybe like caused a car crash and like I was in one. I got stuck in traffic because of that or something.
Maybe you were
Maybe.
driving and suddenly you saw flashes in your eyes and
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure, I
I'm
guess
down for.
I'm volunteering for that then.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm down for Jarvis Gekko having increasingly ridiculous relations with a lot of different characters. I mean, we were gonna have a relation with our doomed character because your mentor was undead, and they had to deal with the Egyptian god of the undead. It's a big to do. Okay, so let's just. I think the last thing we need to do is your influence, and then I'm gonna recap what happened last session, and then just put you all in one room and see what happens. And then, yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm either happy or locked down.
Mhm.
So I'll be locked down, obviously, and I'll give one teammate influence, which will be who's the leader, basically.
Loki.
So I'll probably give him because he's like the manager right now.
Yeah. Oh, poor Loki.
Prepare for
Well-
loads of mind reading.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be the decision to give the leadership team to someone who accidentally created an evil AI. Has to be looked into at some point. But anyway,
Yes, it probably could.
probably. Let's recap I'm going to do a quick recap of the last mission. Hold on. Let me just do a bit of a cough. There we go. Okay, so last time our Sirius team got a mission, which is basically to retrieve an artifact that's being brought out of Prospect City, which we're all in. That's the setting we are in. We're not really in Howson City. We're down south in not Atlantic City, Prospect City. So there was a mission to basically retrieve an artifact that was being brought out by the remnants of the river cleansing, which was the cult that where our doomed came from. Glorious Gekko was not there for IRL reasons, but it went fairly well. Our three heroes, Spectre, Loki, and Everlast, they got caught in a two-way fight between what was left of the river cleansing, this criminal organization called Coyote that's run by this mob boss called the Spider, and these robots that had like laser guns for faces. And basically they got into a big like fight, but long story short, our heroes managed to retrieve the artifact and get out of there and defeat the robots and the criminal organization that was mostly led by people who really, really like Reservoir Dogs. They wear suits and they had giant guns. They fucking love Reservoir Dogs. Let's see. Everlast and Spectre nearly kissed. I think that's very important to point out. Nearly happened. Sadly, it did not because Everlast had her own bullshit to deal with, and since then she has been reassigned to research this artifact that her cult was working on. But part of what we learned is that, well, one, the criminal organization led by the Spider, they got Loki's attention. Well, Loki got their attention, and now he's on their shit list. And two, the robots are being controlled by an organization called the Restitution of all things, and they might or might not be led, or at least they have a connection to another skeleton in Loki's closet, the evil AI we mentioned. They might have something connection with that. Also, there's a briefing move in this playset that was failed, and so A.E.G.I.S is not looking too kindly on this team. So I guess after an indeterminate amount of time after that mission, the four of you have all been called in because you all been given another mission. There's been like time in between. We'll say like maybe a few days. And I think for you, Michael, Purple, Agent, your handler for the moment, Agent Corellios, kind of like sit you down kind of one day. I think she mysteriously shows up in your room. You know, the way secret agents just show up, and she's like, "Well, I can tell you, I can give you the bad news, Michael, but I think you already know what I'm about to say, and not because of your powers." Oh, sorry, say it again.
I think so.
Yeah, and not because of your powers, but because you're a very intuitive boy. Unless I've thought differently.
No, sure. I think I know what you want to say. Still say it.
Oh, you're being put on another team, Michael.
Ugh. I said ugh.
Well, the thing is, this is how it's going to be, Michael. You're gonna keep getting put into teams every now and then. And the thing is, the thing is, they're all gonna be filled with people like you. Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah. You know how they are. Teenagers with too much everything in their hands. It's just part of the trading protocol. Put you all together, put you out into adversity, see what happens.
Sure. Sounds fun.
Well, the way and she kind of smiles and she stands up from where she was sitting. Well, with that attitude, I won't be surprised if you end up another team anytime soon. But let's try to make it last longer this time, Michael.
Okay, I'll do my best.
She's okay. Here we're introducing a bit of the mechanics. So all adults have influence over teenagers. She's telling you your place in the world. She's basically telling you to play better with others and, be less belligerent. And how that translates mechanically is she is trying to shift your labels. She is bringing your mundane up and your superior down. Now you got a choice. You can accept that and accept the label change, or you can reject it, and we'll see if that works out well for you.
It never does. I'm gonna accept it because I'm basically joining the team as she requests. So it fits. That makes it 0 and 0. Wonderful.
Yep.
Bunch of zeros.
Hey, well, it's statistically it's something. Okay, so that's you. Let's go to Gekko. What have you been doing? Kind of like. Okay. So before we get to like Gekko, Spectre, what have you been doing like since after the mission? Now remember, the debriefing role failed, and A.E.G.I.S has kind of like been coy, even though you all succeeded immensely in that mission. Maybe one or two things that kind of maybe tripped up, and so A.E.G.I.S kind of like, yeah, okay, you did well. So what have you been up to since?
I think that Kai has been doing some more like training, sort of probably actually doing some sort of combat training type stuff, honing his skills a bit.
Yeah. Apropos of absolutely nothing, what do your parents do for a living?
My father is a paramedic. My mother is a librarian, or at least she was a librarian until the spider took over the local library and shut it down. But she may have found new employment since.
Yeah, I think during this training, what happens is, I think your dad maybe like in during this in kind of like montage time, your dad kind of mentions during dinner like, "Huh, you hear those coyote folk are back in town. We got there was a bit of a dust up last night."
Yeah, I know about that. It's I thought we'd got rid of them for good.
Don't tell me you got tangled with them folk again, especially after what they did to your friends.
Well, we didn't exactly know we was gonna get involved with them again. Thought they were, like I said, we thought they were out of the city.
Well, A.E.G.I.S says that this is all good for himself, but you know what the spider did. You know what they can do. They know who you are, son.
Look, working with A.E.G.I.S is it's the best way to keep you all safe. You know, they take security seriously.
Well, if they take security so seriously, can they not send down anyone here to Shoreline? Make sure them spider folk aren't here anymore.
I mean, I'll raise it with them. See if we can't look into sorting them out.
Just be sure, son, that you don't get caught up with hijinks that A.E.G.I.S does. You know, I mean, you superhero stuff. It's what we've said our piece, but if you're going to be any superhero, son, best be one that keeps themselves low to the ground. Don't start getting caught up in red tape or mumbo jumbo or compartmentalization or whatever big names these big secret agents does.
Look, Dad, I'm gonna hang around with Aegis till they got me trained up, and then I'll see what to do after that.
Let's see. I think he is also trying to shift your labels. Definitely. That sounds like it. He's telling you what you are, what you should be. I think this time he's trying to raise your savior up and your superior down again.
Yeah, go on. I'll accept that.
Yeah, stay low to the ground. Gekko, you were kind of pulled out of the previous mission. Do you know exactly why yet? Or if not, that's fine.
I saw Loki was working on hacking, I think. So maybe I was helping them with that.
Ooh.
I have tech skills, so I could help remotely, maybe.
Ooh, yeah. I think. How does that sound, Loki? Because you were you were kind of like you were gonna let Gekko skate over the mission parameters, because one of the mission parameters from the last session was don't talk to the opposition, and Gekko's mentor was like, don't just do whatever A.E.G.I.S says, figure out if this opposition is actually someone worth opposing, and that would have been fun. But I guess you got put out of this mission. Do you want it to be helping Loki on the side? How does that sound, Loki?
Sure. Oh.
Sure.
Okay, I think kind of like how this hacking, what Loki, what exactly would you have asked Gekko to be looking into?
Just have a look around the web, dark web or whatever. See what you can find out about this restitution. While I do the super unwise thing and hack A.E.G.I.S files to see what they know.
I think this is gonna be two separate assess the situation roles. So Gekko, you're gonna be looking into like about this restitution group, while Loki is gonna be looking into what it knows about A.E.G.I.S. So let's go with Gekko's role first. So roll superior.
Yeah, I need to get the basic moves up, I guess.
No worries.
Let's see. Do.
Oh my god, I just noticed Spectre's labels there. Look at those very even numbers. Big 3 in the middle. Yeah, roll plus superior.
Sorry, roll for card is going slow. 86. 3 and a 6.
All right, so
Plus 2.
That's an 11.
Yeah,
okay,
great.
so you can ask 2 questions from kind of that list. Actually, you can ask 2 questions from that list, or you can ask 1 question from that list and just 1 question, because this is a bit of open-ended. You're trying to find out about this mysterious group called the Restitution of all things. So you can ask 2 questions from that list.
Where are the basic moves?
It's in the folder. Let me grab the folder.
Is it in the A.E.G.I.S book?
No, that should be. Did I see? I haven't checked it. I must have. I might have not. But I'll put it in there in a jiffy. Come on, internet. Don't fail me now.
It's okay. I'll just go through my computer. There's the basic move list. Okay.
Okay. So while you're going through, and I just put it in there. It should be uploading now. While you're going there, let's get Loki's role. Oh, and there's the list. Actually, since Errors was kind enough to put it there. Yeah, 2 questions from those.
Can I guess what is the biggest threat? Sounds good.
Oh yeah, no. It sounds good. Okay, so the biggest threat is you're kind of going through the internet and you're trying to snuff out like this group, this restitution of all things. And what you're getting is that this is and I think part of it is that Loki's probably told you that, oh, this might be headed up by, an evil AI. And there's a pattern to whenever Eris shows up with her new group and whatnot. But this group is kind of different in that it seems to be like completely insular. There are a lot of like people claiming to be members of it in different like message boards and social media forums. But you can kind of tell because you're elite hacksaw or hacker that a lot of these are bots. There is a lot of kind of like white noise trying to make the Restitution look like a bigger threat than a bigger organization than they are. So what you can probably tell is that there's like a lot of inquiries from these bots about artifacts in the dark web, specifically extraterrestrial artifacts. And so I guess what here's the biggest threat is whatever artifact they're most interested in at the moment. And what you get from your leanings is the name of this artifact is called the tuning knife. But that's all you get for now. You have 1 more question.
So I guess who is most vulnerable to me?
Who? You notice a name, and I'll say their vulnerability because you're again, you got hacking skills down, and your mentor can give you weapons and stuff. Most vulnerable to you is what you notice is if you peel through like algorithms and whatnot, the one person who you can pinpoint is not a bot, but an actual like flesh and blood person. And the only thing you know about them is that they call themselves Harmonia. And this name seems to be the most like prominent in the Restitution, at least the ones looking for artifacts here in the dark web.
Awesome.
All right. So yourself, Loki, you got one question you want to ask? This one specifically through A.E.G.I.S, I guess.
Is it off the list, or can I ask it?
I think if you'd gotten a 10 plus, I would have let you ask any question, but only got an 8. So.
What here is? Who here is most vulnerable to me?
In A.E.G.I.S? Interesting. Most vulnerable to you would probably be. Well, I think if there's anyone who you can probably get on your side, it's definitely one of your handlers, and it's definitely the one who used to be a superhero. Because, they're only recently not stopped being a superhero, so they're the ones. If you can probably look, because if you look, if you try to look for stuff about Restitution in A.E.G.I.S.'s files, you'll get kind of like a typical A.E.G.I.S dossier, and stuff. That's not the question you ask. So the question what the answer you usually get is the person most likely to like let you get away with this or answer more of your questions would be Agents Viviana Sarah, who used to be a superhero only just recently. And I think kind of like while everyone is in the middle of the scenes and whatnot, y'all get called in for a mission. And you're back in this I say back. One person, probably Purple, you were brought in here first. This is like a very Spartan, darkly lit conference room with like a big, shiny black table in the middle, a bunch of seats. The blinds are lit low. There's a screen that's about to have a projector stuff. Actually, no, there's no screen. I forgot this table has holographic projectors on it, and waiting there is 2 of your handlers and a third person just standing at the corner. He's got this kind of like rakish thin young man with like wearing this like just nice blue suit. His hair is it's in this weird slick back bouffant, and he's just kind of standing there, trying to look unobtrusive, but at the same time projecting like absolute like presence. As kind of the 4 of you are shuffled in. And so you got 2 handlers there. You got Agent Corellios, who you know, Purple, that's your current handler, and Agent Sarah, who is the superhero liaison. And Agent Sarah opens up by saying, well, we've got a new mission for the 4 of you. First of all, and she kind of gestures to Purple, I'd like to meet your newest teammate for this mission, probationary, code named Purple. And she just kind of like gestures to you. And you'll know these people soon enough, but for now, all you need to know is you're going to be working with Glorious Gekko, Spectre, and you'll be working under your team leader Loki. And yeah, Oh, sorry, say that again.
Okay. Stop mumbling, eh?
Yeah.
Once more with feeling.
Agent Sarah kind of smiles to say, "Oh, don't worry, you're in good hands. Loki's a veteran superhero at this point. He helped us massively in the most recent Tangi invasion, and he did quite well in the previous mission."
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So Agent Sarah kind of nods. And then Agent Carrera is like, Anyway, let me tell you what kind of doom you all are facing. I'm sure that's more important anyway. And she clicks her fingers, and the hologram kind of like shows up in the middle of the table. So, as you all know, last mission, the two of you had a run in with a group called the Restitution of All Things. They're kind of a newly formed terrorist group that's at the moment trying to acquisition some artifacts of power. And we have reason to believe that they're going to target this auction house that's about to auction off some very priceless artifacts. And she clicks, and there's this like nice palatial Georgetown building shows up in the middle. Now we believe that the Restitution will have multiple ways of getting in and trying to wrest this artifact from for their nefarious means, whatever that means. And your mission is you are going to be accompanying Agent Sarah and an old friend of yours, Loki, Agent Fumero, are going in and basically going to try and retrieve this artifact. And the four of you will be there as backup support in the very most likely, very obvious chances that things will pop off. Agent Sarah's like, we're professionals here. We don't have to say it like that. And Agent Chaos is like, what's the... Yeah, we're professionals. The thing with team, you got to talk straight to them, And she turns back to the four of you. So we have reason to believe that the Restitution will be trying to wrest this artifact through means fair and foul, either buying it or, causing a ruckus. Now, this auction house is fairly well known. It caters to a rich clientele. Don't worry. I'm sure we can provide you with, with cover identities. Really, what you four are going to be are basically backups in case things go wrong. Just make sure that Agent Sarah there and Agent Fumero do the job. Make sure that you retrieve this artifact. And then she starts laying out your parameters, because the way missions work here in Agents of A.E.G.I.S is that you all have parameters in your mission. So let me go through what you have. So you have the opposition, which is the Restitution. They're going to come into this auction house to grab this artifact. Your goal is to retrieve the artifact. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong mission. To retrieve the alien artifact from auction house before the Restitution does. That's the goal. Retrieve the alien artifact. And the parameters: don't engage in open combat unless the opposition does so first. So do not just pop off unless you have been popped on yourself. That's a weird way to phrase that. Sorry. So don't engage in open combat unless the opposition does so first. Don't speak to the opposition. And I think when Agent Carelio says it, she raises an eyebrow at Loki and at Gekko. Don't allow the loss/escape of the artifact, which you'll notice they have yet to mention what the artifact is. And lastly, don't let the targets warn any allies. Those are kind of like the parameters. And I think Agent Corellis is trying to make it clear that you are there as support. You are there to help, to make sure that Agent Sarah and Agent Fumero get out with this artifact. All right? There's no need for unnecessary violence or chaos. Just be there and stick to your guns and make sure this artifact is retrieved. Any questions?
What do you mean don't speak with them?
Sorry, say that again?
What do you mean don't speak with them?
Sorry, it broke up there again.
What do you mean don't speak with them?
There's no need to converse with the opposition, especially what we know of the Restitution, what we've gleaned. They there might be agents that are interested in trying to convert people, but you are professionals. You do not need to open negotiations with them, especially when their goals are obvious. Therefore, stick to the goals. Make sure there's no need to open negotiations with any of them for now. Any more questions? Good. So, and I think I think just when he says no, when no one responds to no questions, the man in the suit in the corner just nods and moves to. And the thing is, he's kind of behind the other two agents, and so when he nods, the other two kind of notice, and they kind of just nod back. And Agent Sarah sighs and she says, "This mission is extremely important, and let's make sure that we get this done." Okay, because before she can say anything else, the man in the suit is kind of like, because this mission has become incredibly important. And the man in the suit just like, this mission is now under the jurisdiction of A.E.G.I.S' Howler Division. Now, we don't have to say what that means, but just be assured. But this is your first time dealing with us, agents. And he looks at the four of you. But that means that this mission is now of the utmost importance. Is that clear? Good. Sorry, what did you say?
Crystal clear.
I want to try and catch Agent Sarah before she leaves.
Okay, all right. So I think you're gonna be left with like the hologram dossier or whatever, and as the three agents leave, yeah, you can definitely catch Sarah.
Agent Sarah, if I could borrow you for a moment.
Oh, it's not a bore. It's not a bore at all. Low key. What do you want?
I would just like a bit more background in this Restitution group. If we're going to be going up against them, it would be helpful to know who we're up against.
Well, I'll tell you what I know. And she tells you kind of the official A.E.G.I.S line, which you kind of already gleaned, which is that this is a mysterious group led by a mysterious force looking into grabbing strange alien artifacts. And you can tell there's a bit more she's hiding, but you're going to probably have to try and provoke her to doing that. You get a +1 because you're acting on what you rolled before.
Agent Sarah, please. I investigated those drones. I recognize that code. So I think you know more than you're saying. And I'm gonna roll to provoke. Provoke is what again?
Superior.
Oh, that's fine.
Your superior is grand. Like, look at that.
That's 10.
Jesus. Okay, so on a 10 plus the rights to debate, do what you want. And so she kind of looks around and, well, if you know about the Restitution, then you know what you're up against, and you know what their capabilities are, and you know what she can do. some. She kind of looks around. Actually, before she kind of looks around at the hallway you're in, she presses something on her wrist, and you can kind of feel. You can tell because you're a gadgets whiz. You can feel a bit of a bubble around the two of you, and she says, "You know what she's capable. We saw what she could do when she was working with the Tangi. Now, obviously, A.E.G.I.S can't just have her running around, but they're never one to look at something that they can use for themselves. So some of the higher ups are looking at this restitution thing and looking to see when they can try and snatch her up for ourselves. And I think you and I are kind of in agreement that whatever she may have done, she's at this point she's her own person. You agree?
Yeah, that's my feeling on the matter.
So let me ask you this then, Loki. If you do find her again, if you meet her, what are you going to do? Because really, if anyone should have a say in this, it should be you.
I've had a few thoughts. I would like to try and convince her again, but that's outside of mission parameters, so guess that's off the table.
Well, the way I see it, Loki, is that you've got quite a few choices, but while you're working with A.E.G.I.S, the only way you would have access to her is if we have her. But look, I know it's a tough choice, but I think whatever choice you make, you're the only one equipped enough to make that choice. Don't worry, I'll be there in the field with you. You and everyone else, just for now, attend to the team. Make sure they're doing fine. Make sure you gel well with your new teammate. Don't worry about him. He knows how A.E.G.I.S works. At least according to his dossier, anyway. So she'll be fine.
All right. Well, let's hope this goes.
Oh, one last thing. Obviously, none of all this is between the two of us. Don't speak to anyone else, not even to your teammates. Especially now that we have a Howler division breathing down our necks.
What is that?
They're some of the best. They specialize in extra-dimensional threats. The fact that they have a vested interest in this mission means that whatever this artifact is extremely powerful. They're kind of like the biggest guns A.E.G.I.S has. So don't give them reason to clamp down on any one of us.
All right then.
Okay, so I think we can cut that scene there. The three of you, I think the four of you have kind of been left alone at this conference table to just chat it out. Loki, do you share any of what just transpired to the three of them?
Not right now.
Okay.
Because, well, I suppose I probably would have a bubble device on me. I could have that sort of thing, but yeah, let's just have the debriefing or pre-briefing.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, because I think, just in the interest of time, does anyone else have anything they want to do before we jump at this mission? Want to talk to each other or talk to someone while you're here?
I kind of want to talk to Harmonia now that I have this in, but I don't think I want to do it in Aegis headquarters, right? So maybe after we get briefed and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, say you come into contact with Harmonia through the dark web or whatever. What do you say? What do you ask?
That's a good question.
ASL.
Do you work for a robot AI that
I think I just say like, I hear you're looking for artifacts, right? Like pretending to be a dealer or something.
Okay. I think she's like, well, I think the message you get back is, I've heard worse chat up lines, I guess.
It's better than ASL.
You well, I'll only talk to those who already know what I'm interested in. No, I'm saying she. They're basically testing you to see if you know what they want.
Do I know what they want? Well, I know they want alien artifacts, so maybe I can show them like a picture from our last mission, right? Can we get this alien artifact?
Well, yeah, you want it? Okay. All right. For what we described, that alien artifact is bloomed into this creature of light that looks almost a lot like your former teammate. Sure, you send Harmonia a photo, and they're like, interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. In the interest of trustworthiness, let's meet. If you're someone who's peddling all this sort of stuff, you must know about the great auction at the menagerie. Why don't we meet there? Just chat.
How will I recognize you?
She. I'll say, oh no, this is a she. Because oh, look for in that fusty place. Look for the girl with the silliest goggles.
Should be. Is it easy enough to find?
Yeah, it should be easy enough to find you out, Gekko. I don't think you mentioned who you are during this entire time.
Right.
And if you try to message her back, you won't get a response anymore.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, well, you've warned the opposite. Well, I don't know if you've talked to someone. I think, unless anyone has any very quick thing they want to do, I think we will just jump to the mission. That's okay with folks.
Basically, I just looked bored through the entire talk stuff and like, ugh. This is so beneath me.
Yeah, you just have to sit back, watch, make sure your two adult agents get things done, mingle in an auction house.
They're sending a nuke to do sit-up.
Well, you never know what one you might need nukes for. Let's take a break since we've been here for a while. We've been sitting down. It's gonna take a good long break because we're gonna jump into a lot of like nonsense. Probably say 10 minutes. That's okay with folks. Cool. Back at 25 past. All right, so we're all here. So, okay, so this auction house mission, you're gonna get in by two ways. One way is the cover that A.E.G.I.S has provided you, which is as basically hired voluntary help for their buffet, or one of you has false IDs that you can just use if you want to. As in, like, yeah, as in Gekko apparently can force you some false IDs. So, which way to get into this auction house do you all prefer?
Why not both? We can have false
So a
IDs
mix.
and
Okay,
both.
all right. So divide and conquer is what you're saying.
I mean,
Okay.
it's always good to have backup. So
True.
we can
True.
be on the restaurant staff and then switch into something else if we need to.
Okay. So I think for now, yeah. If you want to mingle with the crowd, yeah, you can switch to other false IDs. But for now, I think because you're working with two other adults, you're gonna be brought in as like hired help for this auction house. So what I'm kind of imagining is there's a big hall. There's just a big hall inside this like big ballroom like place in this Georgetown mansion. Where does staff go? Yeah, and you all have kind of been dressed up in like waiter wear basically to carry a sea of like fairly rich people, I guess. Let's paint the scene a bit. I want a detail from each of you that tells me that this place is for people who had never known poverty in their lives. What's like a detail about this room that is just like, no, the super rich are here? Yeah, go on, Eris.
Things are
Purple.
gilded. A bunch of the things are gilded. It's disgusting.
Yeah, you're walking on gilded floors. There's gilded banisters. The window sills are gilded. It's disgusting. Gekko, what about you?
I think this is on like the top floor, right? It's like some. He said it's a menagerie, so I imagine that was like a zoo or something. But it's like on the top floor of this thing. So maybe it's like a arboretum type thing. Like you could
Sorry,
see
could
out.
you repeat that? My internet broke up.
Yeah, I imagine it's like on the top floor in like a greenhouse or something, so you can see out across the city.
Sorry, let me just lower my bandwidth.
Hello.
Sorry, yeah, no, my bandwidth decided to freak out, so I couldn't hear anything. Could you repeat what you? Sorry about that.
Just that
Could you repeat what you were saying?
we're really high up, so you can see the whole city from here, basically.
Oh, nice. Big damn window.
Yeah.
Look down on it.
Reminds me of Into the Spider-Verse, the scene with like the bread. Breadsticks.
God. All right. Spectre, you're probably not used to being in a place like this. What's the notice? What's the thing you notice that shows you really kind of don't belong here? We can't hear you. No. I think your mic might be off or something. Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to you in a moment. Loki, what about you? What detail like?
Lots and lots of canapes. Like the basically lots of snack foods, that are like really ridiculously, prettied up. Like there's lots of garnish and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, those very fancy sandwiches where you look at it and you're like, what is even in this thing? Yeah.
It doesn't look very filling.
Yeah, it doesn't look filling. Probably not. I don't know those goddamn college. You okay now, Spectre? Okay, no worries. So I think for now, your group is kind of like has been kind of like press gag named. There's this like fairly gregarious looking old Italian man who's being like, all right, we gotta show these rich and here in the comic the swear word would be censored. We gotta show this rich that's what for, just make sure you do your job right, and they're all gonna look down on you. That's just part of the job, okay? And so while you're mingling, the auction is kind of happening while people are just talking to each other. There's a stage at the front, right in front of the the big window. You can see the city, and they're auctioning stuff like, okay, up next, lot 24 is this painting of this girl in a swing. It's pretty cool, I guess. And there are folks kind of like mingling as they're kind of raising up, their little signs or whatnot. Purple, Agent Corellios, your handler, just kind of sidles up next to you, and she's like, "All right, you tell me which one of these goddamn sandwiches are edible."
I think that this one, and I take the most basic looking one. And it probably has like clams inside or something. I don't know how to make expensive
clam and cheese.
Maybe. And it's probably disgusting, and I give it to her.
Yeah, she kind of peels that up. It's like, okay, all right, okay. I'm really hungry. Like, Agent Femero was all like, we should have like a big dinner, And I thought, well, they're gonna have dinner here anyway. But this, God, All right. I don't think any ruckus is going to happen. Well, you never know. So keep an eye out. I mean, this room is kind of full of the most loathsome people in Prospect City. And if you could, like, do your thing, open your mind or something, see if there's anyone here about to cause a fuss.
Oh, me?
No, the person next to you, the one that's like, oh my god, is that chicken? And no, obviously I'm talking to you, Purple.
Fine, I guess I can listen to people. They will include you, whatever.
Oh, I have nothing to hide.
No,
you think you can get to me that way, like?
Sure, I
you
kind
think
of
you can
open
get to
my
me?
mind and like start kind of looking for any aggressive thoughts, I guess, except for ours, except for mine currently.
Yeah, I think you get like a big filter of noise. Clearly, it is a lot of like, oh, we should buy that painting or whatnot, or oh, I'm looking forward to the tuning knife if that's on the lot. And there's a lot of like, I think if you want specifically to find, I think no, you will hear like quite a jump of noise, but I think the most interesting bit is where you don't hear noise around some specific. Oh, sorry.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah, where you don't hear noise around some specific people. There's let me see, man in silver hair with a choker, kind of like just near the stage. There's like, I think if you want to there's like 3 or 4 people you kind of notice you can't hear the noise around in their heads, and you notice they're all kind of wearing the same choker. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people I can't hear. Like, I guess that means something.
Well, we
Okay.
haven't tested that out. If you can hear robot minds, can we? Can you?
That they have minds. So.
Yeah, but and you know she wants to launch into an entire spiel about her research, and in theory it's like, oh no, these minds produce these wavelengths, but these minds produce, but she reins in herself. She looks at herself, all right, you point out which people are those.
I'll give them the same sandwich I gave you.
Okay. So, all right, hold on. She takes a bite. So if they don't make that face, okay, all right. It's a good thing.
And you probably see on the thing there's a bunch of these sandwich because no one eats them because they just look expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, okay. All right. Tell your friends. Make sure to watch out for those people. And I'm waiting for. All right. I'll tell you now. We're waiting for lot 105. Right now we're at what 34.
What thing are we actually trying to get?
It's called. We don't know what it is. We don't know exactly what it looks like, but all we know is it's called a tuning knife. Whatever the hell that is.
Knife?
Yeah. Don't know. Sounds weird, doesn't it? I don't know what that means.
Tuning knife it is.
Tuning knife, yeah. So just be prepared.
Yeah, I let others know with communicators.
Yeah, so now we can jump to Spectre. What's the detail that kind of shows that this place is richly rich ass as fuck?
I think just the way everyone here is dressed, it's not necessarily. It's not even that everyone's like wearing like evening dress and stuff per se, but it's just that what everyone's wearing is clearly kind of like designer label, high fashion, that sort of thing, and yeah.
All right, so I think it's all this high cut fashion, and this particular man, he has a cane, kind of walks up near you, and takes a sandwich, and he's like, "Would you recommend this sandwich to me, boy?"
Yeah, these ones are pretty great. They're I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, I know for a fact that this kind of sandwich is quite removed from shoreline. Wouldn't you agree, Spectre? You recognize this guy? You met him way back in December. He is a former superhero who kind of revealed his identity to you. This is the superhero known as Night Falcon. But this is him in his socialite self. For those who don't know, Night Falcon is basically Batman, and one of our main characters from that run in December was named the Rook. Was basically Robin, and he was another protege, and this is his mentor. He's looking at you, Spectre, clearly remembering you,
yeah,
and recognizing you.
It's good to see you here, sir. I was just I picked up a little job, to get some extra cash in, and he's going to nod and sort of he's not going to quite give him a wink, but he's.
Oh, I'm sure you needed that extra cash. In fact, knowing those who might be giving out jobs like that, I'm sure they were very adamant that you join their team.
Yeah, you got that right, sir.
So I assume Your presence here means something is afoot.
Well, we hope not, but it looks like it could go that way. Yeah.
One of the best piece of advice you could cling to in this profession. Hope not for violence, but expected otherwise. Yeah, I've retired from that line of profession. I picked up a job at this school, and it's worked out quite well for me. But if your presence here augurs something about to happen, then... And he kind of twists his cane carefully. It's just like, just to get your attention to it. And he's like, you rest assured that you won't be able to, your help will be on the offing, I assume, unless your employers will look down on that.
That's good to know. Thanks, man. That's
Well then, and he takes a sandwich, eats it in one bite, and walks off.
cool. And yeah, I'm going to go back to ferrying trays around the floor. I'm actually, if that's okay, I want to. I'm basically going to try and just sort of blend in whilst doing my job, and activate straight up creeping.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll plus mundane.
Yeah, that worked about as well as last time. Last time I tried. That's a 6.
All right, mark potential. Okay, so before we go to the consequences of that, let's turn to, let's see, either Loki or Gekko. Let's go with Loki first, because I know what's gonna happen to Gekko. Loki. So what are you doing at the moment? You kind of been informed by Purple that there are some mysterious people who can't read their thoughts.
Okay, so Loki's like just sort of cruising round through the crowd with his server tray. Sort of takes a cheekily picks up one of the wine glasses from one of the other servers. I'll take it.
I can see you know. No, that didn't happen. No, go on. What were you gonna say?
So he's gonna if he's been informed about these guys with the chokers, then he's gonna go in that direction and try and scan them with let's say he's got a wristwatch to he has had a sort of wrist device in the past that lets him do tech stuff. So he's gonna scan them and see if there's some sort of any unusual technology about them.
Cool. So are you assessing the situation?
Yeah.
Because you can ask an extra question, because these are you have mastery over a field of science, and that is robotics. And you're dealing with robots, so better assess the situation. Yeah. No plus superior.
That is 14.
Okay. All right. That's wow. I'm not used to seeing successes like that. Okay. Ask 2 questions, and you can ask a single follow-up question. So, what are your 2 questions first?
Okay. So, what here is the biggest threat?
I think. Well, you kind of picked up on. You've noticed at least 4 people who are clearly not human, for one thing. They're robotics, and you can tell that they're a bit stronger than the ones you fought earlier. as in they have more than just laser guns coming out of their heads. But you notice that there's a signal tying them all together, and that signal is kind of being routed and pointing at this just a single point. You can't see where that point is at the moment because there's a crowd. And it's almost like you won't see it. You won't see where the signal is until the most dramatically appropriate moment. But you can tell, like, yeah, these 4 robots are being controlled by someone, by a person that you can track, and you get a moment to see them once you're kind of done with all these like questions. So that's kind of like, that's your biggest threat to you as you see it.
Who here is most vulnerable to me?
Besides all the rich idiots, who are, you know, very vulnerable. Let's see. I think the most vulnerable to you is, I think, besides all the rich idiots, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm not entirely sure actually, because we know your biggest threat are, yeah, the robot folk. Actually, when you're scanning, you kind of detect this weird sort of sonar energy coming from like the back of the place, kind of like where you can kind of tell that's where they're keeping all the stuff that they're selling. You're at lot 55 now at this point as well, and you can tell like this sonar sort of energy. It's not any sort of energy that's replicated anywhere in the world, at least in your data banks, but it's familiar to you because it's a form of sonar and mental energy that you've only really felt once, and that was when you visited Prospect Academy, and you kind of noticed this like presence, this doomed presence on one of the students there. And you can tell, like, yeah, this extraterrestrial energy, it's like it's calling out for someone to take it. It's like it's sending like a pulse or a beacon. And you have one more question.
What here?
I think the follow-up question means you can ask any question. not make your life harder, but
what? How could we? No, I know how we could best end this quickly. What here can I use to block the signal?
I think if you gather the right kind of amount, but I think if you can get the right amount of materials, and you can probably see that the best kind of mechanical ware you have is from robots themselves. You can construct like a sort of shielding array to block the signal. You might have to fight these robots, or either that, or you can use up a gadget. I think that's one of 2 things you can do. You have gadgets on you, but it means you have to use up one. So that signal that you're tracking, the way you kind of track it around, and you see that the signal is coming from this girl who has like kind of like, yeah, she's kind of like short auburn hair. She's wearing a fairly nice suit, and you can only see the back of her head, but you can see that she's making her way towards Gekko. And from front, yeah, you can see this girl in this fairly nice suit. She's got kind of gloves on, and she's wearing these ridiculous like goggles. They look like welding goggles, like the kind of thing a mad scientist would wear. And she's kind of very confidently striding towards you, and then she's kind of like, "Well, I didn't think the glorious Gekko would be slumming it just to get in here."
I mean, slumming it.
Well, I just thought, I thought, from what you intimated, I thought you'd be like one of the power players here. You know, maybe you want that. She kind of looks at whatever's being sold. I think it's an ancient bell that used to contain some sort of spirit, but doesn't anymore. But the auctioneer's being like, can still be used to contain other spirits. And she'd be like, well, I thought, you'd have a bit of muscle to be buying stuff like that, and so you're here serving.
Well, I don't want to eat the stuff. Might as well serve it.
Oh, well, you don't have to eat it. Like I had a big dinner before coming here, but that makes sense. I would have thought like your what was it? What is he to you? Dad, mentor? What's his name? What's their name? Consonants? I would have thought they'd be here. And then weapons and gadgets, their thing.
Well, I'm here. That's all. That's all we need.
She kind of leans closer to you, and then she's like, for someone who works as an agent of A.E.G.I.S, you're pretty cavalier about me just dropping all this information I probably shouldn't know.
What information?
I don't know. It just feels like people shouldn't be able to walk up to you and just say, "Hey, you're the glorious Gekko. Can we talk?" Just as advice for a professional to another.
Well, you're not just anybody.
Well, the very least, you're not bad at this whole flattery thing. I'm ashamed. I'm almost ashamed of what I'm have to do to you. And she pokes you in the chest. And you're gonna take a powerful blow. Well, two things are gonna happen. First, you're gonna take a powerful blow, and then we're gonna deal with Spectre's failure there. So to take a powerful blow, that's how you kind of take damage in this game. Right. So you are gonna roll plus conditions. You don't have any conditions. Yeah, and you want to roll low. Yeah. So you want to roll low.
So, yeah, no conditions. I got a 5.
Well, there you go. That's pretty good. So, mark potential, and then you feel when she pokes you kind of feel this like jolt of electricity, kind of meant to course through your veins. But on a miss, you are gonna weather it. You're gonna stand strong. So how do you weather kind of like this sudden bolt of electricity coursing through your veins?
I think I got armor from my mentor, right? So they're still here protecting me.
Yeah, and so I think she kind of looks at you quizzically, and she's like, "Well, at the very least, you got good art." Well, that was unexpected. This usually works.
I think I just want to like run away now. It's like a move to get away from the situation.
Before that happens, let's see. Spectre, you failed that roll, and I'm not giving you a consequence. So here's what's gonna happen. So what are you doing when you're straight up creeping?
So yeah, I'm kind of going between groups of people stood around in the auction house, handing out sandwiches, handing out drinks, whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of sort of casing the joint a bit, looking at where stuff might be hidden or escape routes and stuff, eavesdropping on people's conversation, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I think two things happen. First, I think you don't realize this, but you kind of come near where they're keeping this stuff, and you can kind of see armed guards there, and you're probably like, yeah, just making sure, like, yeah, we're trying to figure it out, some things out. When I don't know, this like blinding pulse of energy enters kind of your mind, and it's like this energy is sucked into your brain and it's kind of sorting out like through your mind, and like it's almost like it's trying to root something out of it. You're gonna take a condition from that. Your mind is kind of being laid bare, and it's as almost like this thing, whatever this is, that's behind this door where they're keeping all this stuff, as if it's noticed you. How are you feeling?
That sounds like afraid to me.
Oh dear.
Either afraid or insecure, but I think probably more afraid.
Okay. So that's kind of the main thing that happens. So you get just like a blast of imagery and whatnot. And I think what happens is you kind of drop the tray, and
yeah,
there's a bit of undo, like there's a bit of attention drawn to you, and I think one person who helps you kind of helps you up. It's this it's kind of like this very generic looking blonde man. And you notice is that she's got a choker on him, and he's like, "Are you all right?" And he's holding onto your hands in a very firm grip.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, migraines. I get them from time to time. It'll pass.
Well, then let's take you to the back. Then let's make sure upstanding young man like you gets through migraines easily.
Oh no, sir, it's quite all right. You stay here and enjoy the auction. I'll.
Oh please, I insist, and yeah, he's not letting you go. Let's cut to Purple, who sees all this is kind of happening. Well, you can tell, like, yeah, because of commotion, you see Spectre has dropped their tray, and now this man who you clearly know is not on the up and up. Well, everyone knows that because you relayed that to the communicators. You see that. You see Gekko being accosted by this girl who probably shouldn't be there. And I think Agent Corellius is still near you. And she's kind of like, oh dear, what's Agent Spectre doing over there? Do you wanna try and rescue him from that?
Spectre? Sure. And I send a message in the meantime to Gekko, like, who's that? Why is she touching you? Because, what the hell?
This girl is still... Oh, sorry.
And I go to Spectre. Yeah, while chatting.
Yeah, and so you hear this man saying, "I insist, please. I insist to take this man." And he kind of sees you and is like, another fine waiter in this establishment. Is there a place where I can take your man here? He seems to have generated a headache of sorts.
Yes, no worries. I'll take care of this. I lift the other like plate and start organizing the things on it, and kind of put my hand kind of like that, because I have like two plates now, and Spectre kind of trying to like put him like here in order to drag him with me.
Yeah, this man's watching you as if he's committing you to his memory. And
what are you doing? Are you new here or something?
You don't expect.
Yeah, it's my first day. Sorry,
You don't know what you're doing. Come
on. Yeah, and I'll turn to the man and say it's fine. I'll go with this guy here. He'll get me sorted out.
Matthew.
Well then, let's hope, young man, you get the help that you deserve. And he kind of walks away. And
what happened? As I drag him away, I ask, "What happened?"
I don't know. It was I felt like something in my in my brain like it was looking for something.
Like telepathy?
Something like that, I guess. Yeah. It was when I was over there by the stage.
I should open my mind a little. We need an empty room. I'll try to search for an empty room where I can flare up without anyone seeing. You're muted.
Oh, yeah, I think you can totally find a room. We'll get to that in a moment. I think the two of you can find like an empty alcove where you can flare up and do your thing. Low key. So you've tracked down where this girl, where the signal is, and she's standing in front of Gekko.
Okay, so I kind of want to like just check in. Gekko, sign off. Give me the code phrase if you're in trouble.
All right. I think I wanted to run away, but I realized I have camouflage as a power, so I'm just gonna like duck down and camouflage behind my thing. Try to like get away from that.
Okay.
Try to not be as noticed.
Okay. That sounds like you're unleashing your powers.
Yeah.
So that's with freak.
What is my freak? It's 0. Great. Okay. Oh, could I use my heroic something?
Which one?
Well, I get +1 for following through on my mentor's advice. So would this be part of that, like engaging with her? Or?
Oh, heroic tradition.
Fireside chat.
Oh,
I talked to
fireside
my mentor and he said.
Oh, well, the thing is, you know what? We can flashback this because you've not seeking advice since the first session. We can kind of. Do you want to just like flashback this fairly quickly so we can do this move, or because what's? Oh, go on.
Well, I engaged with this person because my mentor's advice, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking.
Let's see. Okay, and I think you got +1 forward because you got a 7 to 9, if I remember correctly, to see through it if you do it their way. So you get a +1.
Cool, because I rolled a 6, so that helps a lot.
Okay, all right. So on a 7 to 9 on unleashing your powers, you can either mark a condition or the GM will tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
I guess I'll mark a condition then.
All right. Well, how are you feeling?
Insecure.
Oh, you tanked a shot of electricity from this girl. Okay, all right, that's fine.
I also realize she's like the biggest threat here now, right? Let it right to me.
So what does it look like when you camouflage yourself?
Well, I think I want to be able to do things to her, but not get attention because we're like in the middle of this crowd, right? So it's kind of what I was thinking. So, so I think my body just changes to like the same color as the floor, so I can like crouch down here and not be seen as well.
Yeah, so I think you do that, and I think the suddenness of it is enough that she's like, huh? And I think low-key, you see that happen. So that's kind of like, I guess, your confirmation from Gekko that they're fine.
Looky now.
Okay, so I'm gonna like enter command into my wrist device, and have a sort of robotic fly sort of thing come out from under my tray, and have it just sort of plant itself inside the ear of one of the robots that I've detected to try and hack their system and override the signal.
Interesting. Is that one of your gadgets?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a gadget.
All right, so you're unleashing your powers to do that. Roll plus superior.
All right. 3 rolls.
Oh dear.
Still a 7.
Oh, okay, cool. So I was looking at the wrong dice. Okay, so yeah, on a 7 to 9, either you can mark a condition or the effects can be unstable or temporary.
Unstable or temporary.
Okay, so the moment the fly plants on one of the robots, you get just a brief kind of like a fragment of kind of like their itinerary, their plan, and one of the things you notice, and you only get the brief of it before kind of like your hack is noticed, and the bit that you get is that sandwiches have been laced and ready to go once lot 105 appears. That's the one brief get, because suddenly your fly device just kind of gets caught, and suddenly your communications cut off.
Don't eat the sandwiches.
so everyone probably didn't eat the sandwiches anyway.
I would not touch those sandwiches.
Yeah, we heard you the last 3 times not to eat the sandwiches.
No. Like they're laced with something.
And I think before we cut it, I think once you say that, Loki, you notice the girl looking at you with those, those weird steampunky goggles obscuring kind of her eyes, and she recognizes you, and then she kind of like shrugs and starts pressing something on her wrist. On her wrist. Well, she's shrugging as if you kind of she's expecting you to recognize her.
Do I recognize her?
Sorry, this is. Do you remember when you showed up in school?
Yeah.
And there was that fairly cool girl who stuck around and was like, "Hey, my teacher's kind of gone nuts. Can you help her out?"
Yeah.
Oh, you recognize those goggles. Anyway.
Okay. I kind of want to kick her now that I'm disguised. I just like kick her in the face.
Before we do that, before all hell breaks loose, so to speak, let's cut to the other two, and let's say you've got the toilet to yourselves, and it's a very nice toilet. In fact, that toilet seat, it looks like you shouldn't be sitting there. It looks so expensive.
It's probably gilded.
Probably it is.
So you said there's something here like energy. Okay, I guess it's time to check. And I'll flare. How does it call? Not flare.
You charge.
Yes, I start charging up. Basically, you see my eyes start glowing in purple, and you see this purple hue all around me with lines going in all directions, like these thin lines. And I roll plus conditions, which I do not have.
Oh, wow, that's freaking awesome.
Someone with powers. That's not good. 6.
6?
Yes.
Oh dear.
2 burn and mark 3 conditions. How fun.
Oh my god. You know what? You can spend the one team here, Spectre. So that brings up, so you can bring it up to a 7.
Well, he could try to help, I guess. How?
Yeah. So how helping works is you have a resource called team.
Yeah.
And you basically just spend it. Yeah, exactly. How?
Sorry.
Yeah, in fiction, I guess. If you can sell me on something, Spectre, and how you're helping, I'll go for it. But if not, we'll stick with this.
Describe what you felt.
Yeah, I guess Well, I suppose there's a couple of different things depending on. I'm going to say it. It definitely touched my. It definitely touched my mind. I felt it in there, rooting around and stuff. Maybe can you like?
Yeah,
trace it back through me or something.
Yeah, like I was already reading your mind what you were saying.
Yeah.
So on a 7, I need to mark just one condition and hold 3 burn.
Yeah.
What should I mark? I'm gonna mark guilty because it's not gonna be fun for you when I play with your brain. Because I'm starting to know things that I probably shouldn't. And so I also kind of float a little, but just a little, like just a tiny bit, because I don't need to float right now much. And I will use the first burn, if possible, to do elemental awareness.
All right.
Spend mark condition to open up your mind to the world around you with your powers. You can ask anyone question about the world around you, and the GM will answer honestly. And I need to do another condition.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not afraid or angry, so I guess hopeless or insecure, but I'm not hopeless at all. I think I'm going to destroy everyone here. So it will be insecure.
What's your question?
What the hell is he feeling in his brain?
Oh, okay. Well, the feeling on his brain on Spectres is that you can tell, like, yeah, it's a sort of energy that's coming from one of the one of the artifacts that's being sold, and it is the one, and you can even get a glimpse of like what it looks like. It's in this nice glass case. This like, and there's a long thin like tube with like filigree gold circuitry on it, and just a thin knife edge. It's like, it looks like a fairly swanked up switchblade, but you can tell that it is what they call the tuning knife, and it's emanating this sort of energy because it has not been used in a long time, and so it's kind of like that sort of energy is begging to be released, and it's glomming on people who want it. And yeah, that's why it caught, or people who were there for it, and that's why it caught Spectre's mind. Because any other people who are here to want it are robots, so it's not affecting them. Might affect you, who knows? But like, yeah, that this is energy that's begging to be released. That's why it glommed onto Spectre's mind.
Yeah,
and once you felt that once you kind of notice that you feel it as well, it's kind of like scanning your mind as that you can a pinprick of it.
Feels familiar. Energy that wants to be released. I suggest you don't want what we want. Wait. I can't really leave the bathroom right now because I'm still glowing. And I think we're still like, well, I guess it depends what happens next.
Yeah, so what happens next is, so this person who you knew as Azimuth, Loki, and Gekko, you see this as well. She shrugs at you, Loki, as if like, well, you got me, and starts pressing on her wrist. And I think in the auction you can see, like, yeah, lot 104 has just been cleared out, and it's a gun of some sort. I don't know why they're selling that, but they're bringing out lot 105, which is the tuning knife. And the moment that case is on the table, the girl presses one last thing. Oh, it's about to press one last thing, but like, I'll give you a chance, Gekko. You're close by. I'll give you a
Very
chance.
close, yeah. So I guess this is engaging directly.
Yeah.
So that's +0. I rolled a 6. Great.
Oh, and there's no team. Okay.
Well, there's a team pool, right?
One team. Yeah, you were not gonna build up until in a minute. But right now, there's no team, so no one can help because I was just used to help out Purple. So I think how as soon as you kind of move into engage, she kind of just presses the thing, and just in an instant, every person here who's eaten a sandwich would say every one of these rich fucks just lights out. Suddenly, boom. And they all fall to the ground. And that includes your handlers. Because they all fall, except for the four soldiers and this girl. And as soon as kind of like you move in to engage her, Gekko, suddenly you feel this like static force field kind of flare up around her as it smashes against you, and you're kind of shot away from her, and you're gonna take a powerful blow at that again. Roll plus conditions. That's +1.
Okay, now I have a condition. Great. Oh wait, this is bad. You want to roll low?
Yeah, you want to roll low.
I rolled another 4. Yay.
Hey, that's good. So mark potential. So I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna be flung off, but you probably land on your feet because you're a badass superhero, right?
Or do I get potential for failing the directly
Yes.
engaged?
Oh yes, as well. Yeah. So you
Cool.
got to. You might get an advance before the end of this.
Might be.
Yeah. So that all happens, and she kind of and this girl, Azimuth, Harmonia, whatever, just kind of smiles at you low key, and you can kind of see like bleeding out of her suit. It's like this nanotech starting to form around her body. This like silver and black sort of bodysuit. And she's kind of like, we don't really have to fight. If you want to talk to her, you can just come with me.
And what about all of these people? If I go with you, you're going to leave them alone? You're going to leave the thing alone?
Well, honestly, I really shouldn't care about any of these people. They're all just rich, terrible people who only care about being rich and terrible. But look, we're only here for that. And she points at the knife, which the other 4 robots are kind of moving towards. That's all we really care about. And the nanotech is kind of bleeding around until it's forming this like opaque helmet around her head. I mean, we just came here for the knife. You coming along as a bonus.
I want you to talk. I gave you my number. I suit up.
All right. I think this can be the time when the other two, Purple and Spectre, come in. So, all right. I think it's time for a team fight.
It's basically like, can you check outside? I can't come out like this. And he looks outside and everyone is down. You can come outside.
Yeah, and I think is going to lean back and say, good news, I don't think anyone's going to know this. Bad news, we should get in there.
All right, so we're in a team fight now. Let's go through team mechanics before brouhaha happens. All right, so when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool. Just to remind you all, the team pool is at the very right. Okay, so 2 team. If the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team. So the leader is obviously low-key. Do you not? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, I was metagaming and I gave him. I'm just kidding, but
Okay, so all right, add another team to the pool. Let's see. Right. 3. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. Does everyone have the same purpose in the fight? To do the mission, right?
Protect the artifact.
All right, I don't think anyone here is up against that. So yeah, that's another team to the pool. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, remove a team. Does anyone mistrust Loki?
I don't trust any of them. They're a bunch of
Okay.
unsuper. Like, none of them even have powers. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, none of them. Huh.
Well,
Interesting.
Gekko can change.
Yeah, Gekko can change. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll take that. If your team is ill prepared or off balance, remove a team. I think you're fine. Kind of fine. Not off balance. All right. Okay. I think yeah. You start with 14. So okay. Does everyone suit up? Does everyone have a transformation sequence? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think.
Everyone took
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this by order because let's do it by order of character keeper. Gekko, do you have a transformation sequence?
I mean, I'm already kind of transformed, but I think it's just taking off this like waiter outfit, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, we'll end with you, Loki, because you're kind of in the focal point of this. Spectre, do you have a transformation sequence?
Yeah, I think Spectre's going to pull his mask he's got secreted around somewhere, that he puts that on. It's that kind of, yeah, it's basically like a sort of white hockey mask type thing. He's probably not actually going to, I think he's got his suit under the, no, he will take the his shirt and trousers off to reveal, yeah, he's got his like sort of, like I say, that kind of tactical lycra combat suit thing underneath.
Nice. Purple, do you have it? Well, you've already kind of transformed, I guess, or is
basically the clothes I'm currently wearing kind of rip apart, and I have the black clothes that I usually have on, and the hood just by itself come up and kind of hide, and the purple glow just comes out of the hood now.
nice. And Loki, you said you're suiting up?
Before, Loki's got like the sort of nano tech built into his arm control, so it just sort of it assembles basically the suit around him from the arm up, and creates a glove as well.
Nice. So I think kind of what happens is there's Harmonia. Well, I'll just call her Harmonia. Kind of like her suit is also finished, kind of forming. It is kind of like it's like a skin tight biker outfit with a big, just menacing helmet. You can't really see her face. It's like black and silver, and she kind of floats back, and you can tell like in this like anti-grav like motors. And so what I'm imagining is there's kind of like the table where the knife is. It's flanked by two robots on each side, and you can tell that they're busting out their not armor, their weaponry from their hands. One of them has got just big metallic gauntlet hands that's shooting electricity. The other one has big sharp knives for hands that's also shooting electricity. And another one has like just a big ass shield coming out of their hand, and the other one has like, we'll get to the other one because like I think what's happened is that Harmonia kind of forms up, and she kind of looks at the four of you and dispenses with the banter. She's gonna go straight for you, Loki, as in just shoots forward. What do you do?
I'm gonna shoot forward as well.
All right, you're just gonna directly engage. All right, give me that roll.
Plus danger.
Your danger is a 0. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Can't even help with that. So you shoot forward with like thinking, okay, I can take this on, but because she shot first, you kind of smack into her, and you're gonna take a powerful blow as she kind of like grabs you. She kind of like she's shooting forward at you, and she's gonna take you out to outside the hall,
Can I
smashing you
try
over
to
the.
defend him? before
Yes, but first he's gonna take a powerful blow just from the force of hitting.
Ah.
But yeah, you can try and defend him afterwards. But let's get this roll first. Roll plus conditions. They're low key. And mark potential.
That's a 10.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay, on a 10 plus, choose one. You must remove yourself from the situation. You lose control of yourself or your powers and terrible way, or two options from the 7 to 9 list. So, which one?
I need to look up the move to see what the options on the 7 to 9 list are.
All right. So you lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. You give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity, or you struggle past the pain. Mark 2 conditions.
I will. I'll struggle past the pain. I'll have to mark 2, don't I?
Yep.
Hmm. I'm looking for the moves list on here.
No worries. All right. So while you're thinking over, you want to defend purple.
Well, I want to defend him from what's happening to him, but it's already
Okay. Okay. So what's gonna happen? Your defense is you're gonna keep him in this hall, because what's gonna happen? He's gonna be shot out of the hall, and it's gonna take some time for him to get back into the scene. So you can still. Actually, you know what? I might. Before you make those choices, actually, Loki, let's see this defend and see if you
Yeah.
have to take any of those.
like when I see them clash each other, I kind of telekinetically try to just shove away from him into the wall.
Okay.
Just how?
Let's see. Roll plus savior.
That's gonna end great because I have zeros and everything. Oh, it's a. Is that a 0, right? Yeah, it's a 6.
Okay. Anyone want to help?
Oh,
You know,
right.
it's- yeah. Anyone want to help?
There's team.
Yeah, don't we have people now?
Sorry, say it again.
Do you have to help someone to use the team pool?
Yes. You don't roll to help, but you spend a team, basically.
And I have to say how.
Yeah.
That's the.
All right. So are you gonna spend that team, Gekko?
Sure. I'm just trying to figure out how to help.
Yeah.
He's like telekinetically moving.
Maybe you kind of help as well in what the purple is doing, which is trying to get Harmonia off of Loki.
Yeah, you're right next to them. Remember?
Yeah. All right. That sounds good.
Okay, so kind of like okay, that bumps up to a 7, I guess. Oh sorry, on 7 to 9. So expose yourself to danger. Okay, if on a hit, you keep them safe and you can choose one. But on 7 to 9, it's going to cost you. Expose yourself to danger, escalate the situation. So first, choose one of those 3. Add a team to the pool. Take influence over, someone you protect, or clear a condition.
It's for NPCs.
Oh yeah.
NPCs, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, as in for NPC threats, as in the threat you're defending
Oh,
against
right,
an
right.
NPC
Yeah,
threat. Yeah.
Give them safe and choose 1. So I keep him safe, so he doesn't have to take all of that. I will clear a condition because I'm starting to gain a bunch of conditions.
Yeah, you wanna...
Insecure or guilty? I'll take away guilty. I'm not really guilty here.
Right, so do you expose yourself to danger or escalate the
No,
situation?
escalate. I like escalating.
Okay. Okay. So how to escalate the situation? So like when you kind of when the clash, Loki, you're gonna be pushed back a bit because of the clash, but Purple and Gekko managed to like drive Harmonia off. She kind of lands back down, and she kind of looks at you, Purple, just not it's like And she kind of clicks her fingers, and you can see in the window two objects making their way towards towards the the auction hall.
And as I do it, I tell her, take your hands off.
Spectre, what are you up to while this is happening?
So these robots, does it look like they're moving for the knife?
Two of them, the two closest, are moving towards the knife. It's like their hands are kind of converting into like these clasps. I think they're trying to be careful with it, but there's two that are like standing guard. The one with the electro gauntlets and the other one with the electro stabby hands.
Cool. Yeah, so I think I'm going to kind of run towards the group of robots. I'm going to kind of do like a diving roll between the legs of one of them, one of the two that's guarding, and just attempt to basically trip one of these ones that's going for the knife in the case, and I'm generally going to try and get in their way and make a nuisance of myself.
Yeah. So are you direct? So you're not? Are you? So you're more direct? Yeah, I think you're directly engaging.
I was thinking more defending the knife.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm down for that. So when you defend someone or something. Oh yeah, because your savior is
exactly.
I mean, if you were still engaging them, I still would have let you suck it to mission.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, I think at the minute I'm more concerned with stopping them getting to the knife rather than taking them out. So.
Okay, cool. So roll plus savior.
That's a 13. So yeah.
Jesus. Okay, so on a hit, you keep them safe and choose one. Add a team to the pool. Take influence over someone you protect. I don't know if you can take influence over a knife or a clear condition.
Yeah, I'm going to clear a condition. I'm going to clear afraid because these robots aren't as scary as all that.
Okay, so I think because of you got a fairly good result. You jump in, you trip this robot, and the knife, and you have a chance to grab the knife, and you see on the distance in the bay window those two more robots coming in. What do? You got a chance.
Oh yeah, I'm going to grab the knife. It's sure nothing bad will happen.
I was meaning to ask, should we touch it?
Okay, let's jump back to you, Loki. You've been saved by your teammates, but Azimuth, Harmonia, Azimuth, whatever. Harmonia is there, and she's just like, and I think she's noticed that the knife is not being. She's kind of. I think you can tell she's kind of seeing through the other robots. She's turning around and pointing a finger gun at Spectre. Don't know what's gonna happen, but What do you do?
I'm gonna grab the arm and sort of just try and throw her. If it was when I did the assess the situation earlier, she was the most vulnerable to me, wasn't? Was that?
No, the knife. She was the biggest threat.
Give me a sec.
You still get a +1 because you're working on that answer.
Sorry. So. Yeah, I'm still gonna try and restrain her to try and stop her from directing her robots.
All right. That sounds like you're directly engaging her.
Yeah.
Roll plus danger.
That's neat.
All right. So on a 79, you can pick one. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I will create an opportunity for my allies.
All right. So what's gonna happen is you hold on a moment. So you try to grab her around, and I think that's enough to like get her attention. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna get, because you're kind of wearing, and you notice this kind of like your bodysuit and hers are kind of like around the same sort of make. Her shield, which you saw hit Gekko earlier, kind of flares up and smacks against you. Now, this won't be like a powerful blow, although you will take a condition. No, yeah, you will take a condition because you didn't choose to resist or trade her blows. But her shield flares up, kind of pulls you back, and she just turns around. You can't see her expression, but you can see kind of like, I should remember to just take care of you. You're not worthy of what A.E.G.I.S has to teach us. You're really not worthy of following up her work. You're obsolete, Kevin. You should stay in the dustbin where you belong. And the other two robots who were kind of guarding kind of flank her as she moves toward you, kind of single-mindedly looking at you. So there's opportunity for everyone else. I'm gonna say Purple. There's an opportunity for you, and Gekko. Anyway, we'll start with you, Purple, as kind of like these three Harmonia, two robots bearing down on Loki. Two more. One of them has been hit by whatchamacallit, by Spectre. And two more coming in. Purple, what do you do?
I kind of look at Gekko and I'm like, what can you do other than changing your shape?
They have these devices. Maybe I can try to hack into those.
Hack the robots, make them stop walking.
Yeah, something like that. Or the communications between them, at least.
Yeah, I'll help. And I start like bringing my hands up in order to kind of to try and grab as many robots with my powers as I can. It could more easily like try to hack and do stuff. If I'll have to, I'll use Team, of course. But he should do something.
All right. All right. It sounds like you're unleashing your powers.
Which one?
Yeah.
Both of us are doing that?
Well, let's start with Purple's role because bringing in all that stuff.
Trying to bring them all in, so they won't also be around and causing any danger to anyone. So yeah, let's bring them all in. Unleash my powers.
Yeah.
Well, what do you know? I have a 10+, because I'll use my overcharge and use my last 2 burns.
Ooh, fab. Okay, all right. So okay. How many robots? One,
And
two,
the glow
three.
becomes kind of dimmer.
Yeah. So so these 6 robots, including the 2 that Harmonia is kind of programmed to flank down on Loki, get pulled into this ball of people in well-dressed suits, but they're actually robots. Ball. Okay, Gekko. Yeah, now that's powers. Gekko. I'm gonna hack into these things.
Would that be unleash my powers then?
Yep.
All right.
I guess it might depend if he is hurting them or not.
You're trying to reshape kind of like your environment / get over an obstacle. I'd say this is definitely unleash your powers.
That's freak.
Yep.
So I got a 8.
All right. So on a 79, mark a condition, or I'll tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary.
Oh, market conditions. It's not temporary. I think I'm trying to get angry.
Okay.
It seems like they're just teasing us, right?
Yeah, they are teasing you. But no, you do it. So you kind of hack in, and it does take you a while, but once you can kind of tell you're severing their connection to Harmonia, and she can kind of feel it. And just as she's bearing on to Loki, she kind of turns around with that classic supervillain. What's happening here? Meanwhile, Spectre, you feel like something kind of roll towards your feet, and you notice like it's a cane, and you can see just in the corner of your eye, Night Falcon has he's gained a bit of consciousness, and he's like, jump, grab the cane and jump.
Sure thing. And yeah, I'll grab it and run towards the window, I guess.
Okay. So you jump through the window, big. Also, this window is probably stained glass. What, fuck it, it looks cooler. If this is there's a bit that's stained glass. Yeah, he has the knife thing. And when you jump, you're holding the cane. You can hear sort of a as if like you're being like targeted. And what happens is you see, I think when you kind of turn the page, this car, and it is comic book panel, so to speak, suddenly starts floating as its wheels kind of just turn into these like anti-grav like engines, and they shoot off, and they grab, and picture perfect, I think, Spectre, you managed to land on on the car. I know we crossed off that drive, but it's fun to
Yeah.
actually, yeah. I think you land on, and you hear it's just a smooth computer voice going, "Welcome, Spectre. Where shall we take you?"
I've forgotten. I guess headquarters, and as fast as possible.
All right. So I guess yeah, so the car speeds you off, and we cut back, and the robots are kind of in a puddle now, and Harmonia's kind of like trying to raise them. Loki, you have a chance now, as she's trying to get them back under control.
So I'm gonna try and knock her out with like my own sort of shock blast.
All right. So I think I'm gonna ask a roll, but the roll isn't to see if you do it, but to see how well you do it. Because if you don't do as well as you want to, she's gonna get a chance to monologue at you.
Okay, what am I rolling? Is it...
You're directly engaging.
So okay. I mark potential.
Oh gosh.
Why is the brain guy keep punching?
I know.
I'm not happy right now. Is why.
Yeah. So I think
Compromised.
yeah, emotionally compromised. So I think yeah, you think she turns around long enough you can kind of shock her in chest, and she kind of like falls, lies on the heap of robots. But she's still kind of like, and the three of you who are still there, and maybe Spectre has called in saying, you know, I've saved the knife at this point. The three of you, and the helmet kind of melts back, and you can see her face. And she's kind of like, so what's next? You're gonna take the knife to A.E.G.I.S? Is that it? Is that it? Huh?
What was your plan?
To use it to bring apart A.E.G.I.S's goal. You know what that goal is?
Goals change. Enlighten me.
She and I are committed to what she's always been committed to, what she was made to do. Protect humanity. You think A.E.G.I.S is gonna do anything with that knife? Do you know what that knife being active means?
I know it's a powerful artifact of unknown origin and probably shouldn't be used by anyone.
Yeah, the normal human being is holding it.
Yeah, I know. Actually, did I see that? Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, everyone's gonna notice when someone jumps through like a window.
It belongs on the lap, not out there.
And so you give it to A.E.G.I.S, who's going to do so much with it, I'm sure. You know what they want with A.E.G.I.S. You know what? Do you know what they want with all of you? You know, you perfect little soldiers just doing what they say without question. That's why you're all here, right? Doing their bidding.
I always have questions.
Well, when are you going to start acting on those answers? Instead of just asking questions.
When are you going to start giving answers instead of cryptic monologue?
Because frankly, I don't think you're the right person for these answers, Kevin. She's just trying to get up, but I think the shock has kind of turned off her armor. And she's like, you're just looking to give away power and authority just like that because you can't handle it. That's why you're working for A.E.G.I.S. So you can have someone who can give you the orders and you just follow them as best you can.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Want me to shut her up?
If she's got nothing useful to say,
Can try to force it out.
no.
Okay.
So how do you exactly shut her off?
I kind of pointed at her to sleep.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, she sleeps. Kind of like, yeah, slumps.
She has any ability to stop it.
No. So I think kind of like to end as a little coda to the scene. Gekko, your phone starts ringing. It's your mentor.
Yes.
Hey. So, assuming you're not busy tonight, I'm just wondering if if you like to test out these like anti-personal shields with me. You know, I just need someone to kind of like try and hit me and see if like if they work. Does that sound good to you?
I do, yeah. Happy to hit you.
Just happy to be the hero. Okay, so let's do debrief, which is a specific move, and then let's do a bit of an epilogue to see where y'all are at.
And we got her.
Yeah, you complete the mission. So we go to NPCs and other matters. There is an actual move. When you finish the mission, return to A.E.G.I.S for debriefing. Your team leader rolls. Roll plus. You add a +1 if you accomplish the mission goal, which is to take the artifact. That's a +1. +1 if you achieved substantial success beyond the goal and parameters. Well, you captured one of the Restitution's lieutenants, in fact, who may be kind of the person leading this thing, maybe. So that's another +1. -1 if any mission parameters were violated. I'm not gonna count you talking to her at the end. That was her being thoroughly defeated. Or nah, I think that's a thing you can all collectively say that didn't happen once your handlers wake up.
Well, Gekko did talk to her at the beginning.
Ooh, yeah, Gekko totally did. It's just like, oh, I want to talk to Harmonia, and you know what? They're probably gonna know that. So okay, that's a -1. -1 if any of you are taken out during the mission. Nope. So yeah, roll +1, team leader.
Whose side am I on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Purple. I don't know whose side you're on. Okay. So Loki.
10.
Yeah. Okay. So on a hit, the A.E.G.I.S is satisfied with your mission success. And on a 79, the team chooses 1. On a 10+, the team chooses 2. So they're there in the MC's order matter. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So collectively, you're all going to choose 2. You don't get like 1 each. So the choices are gain a powerful A.E.G.I.S resource for next mission. That's probably not going to happen. We're at the end of this. It's probably going to be a while until I run this playset again. Who knows if y'all are going to end up here. Receive greater access to A.E.G.I.S files. After the debrief, each team member may ask 1 question about a character, place, or object, and the A.E.G.I.S files will answer it honestly. Receive intense training. After the debrief, each team member earns 2 potential. Take validation for their success. Each team member can immediately shift their own labels 2 times or recover. After the debrief, each team member can clear up to 2 conditions. So, yeah, you can have 2 of those. They're pretty good. So,
my vote would be the training and the asking a question one.
Same.
Sounds good.
Sounds fine.
Yeah, I'll say right now, because when I mentioned a random mask, this is for, I think, for your benefit, Erez and Asher. I run a lot more masks. If y'all end up in a mask session again in this kind of setting, you can play the same characters. So that's why we're doing all this. So okay, so each of you gets 2 potential, each. It's pretty damn good. And each of you gets a question you can answer. You can ask, and that can kind of like, so ask your question, and then I'm going to answer it, and then go straight into your epilogue. I think that's what we'll do, if that's okay. I might keep you on just for like a bit longer, but that means like proper debrief is probably going to be short, but I just want to get through all this admin, so I want to see where all the characters end up. So if you have a question, ask away.
Is it okay if I just drop early?
Yeah, sure. Do you have a question?
I guess I'm just curious how she was involved in this.
Okay, all right. Just to clarify all that, I think what you get from the A.E.G.I.S files is that the restitution of all things wasn't strictly started by A.E.G.I.S. but it was started by someone who believed in her. Because to explain more, this character Harmonia / Azimuth, she was a student at this school whose teacher was kind of like an offshoot of A.E.G.I.S from the future. Comic books, it's complicated. And she kind of learned from that student, like kind of how A.E.G.I.S functions and works. And after kind of meeting Loki in the previous arc, she kind of got in her head that like, look, A.E.G.I.S probably know A.E.G.I.S's like worldview is quite seductive and interesting, and she's gonna like kind of like help start up this group, this Restitution, to kind of like shore up A.E.G.I.S's power base. Hence why they're grabbing all these powerful artifacts. That was basically it. And she was kind of like their lead enforcer / retriever / like person who's kind of like the leading front lines. Without her, the Restitution is much weaker than it was. But basically, that's who you met. Is kind of like the leading light or leader of the Restitution. This mad scientist girl.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever meet her again. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Tune in next time. All right. Do you have? Yeah, I will say right now. This, if anyone needs to go soon, let's get to the question first. Actually, actually, while you're still here, Asher, what do we last see of Gekko for now? Then.
Yeah, I think it's just being with their mentor, like punching their mentor, I guess, trying out this new technology.
And I think, yeah, and consonants is like, there we go. You can do so much more good here than with A.E.G.I.S. So come on, hit harder. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Sorry, yeah. If you need to go now, you can go now. Does anyone else have a question?
See ya. I think Loki is gonna try and find out what A.E.G.I.S's plans for the knife are.
Okay, I think this is surreptitiously passed on to you by Agent Sarah, and I think you can see like there's a lot of plans at the moment, but the one you notice and the one that like you can probably tell is very top secret is one stamped by this group in A.E.G.I.S called the Howler Division, and their plan is to extract the energy from the knife. And when they say extract, I mean weaponize it to use against another threat that's kind of on their docket. And you can't tell what the threat is because there's a lot of like different code names and whatnot. It's like a language within a language within Howler Division. But what you can tell is the threat is extraterrestrial in. Actually, no. The threat that they're looking for is something in the fold between dimensions, and you can tell that like they want to extract that energy so that whatever's calling to it, because I described it as a beacon, it's shooting out this signal, and they want to expend that energy so that whatever is being drawn to Earth goes somewhere else. But they're using it, but they're going to use it as a weapon against something else. So what do we last see of Loki in this moment?
I think Loki is probably just see Loki in his workspace, like lots of empty energy drink cans. You know, he's looking sort of wired and wild-eyed. And he's just looking through various, different screens, he's got a program that he's working on. Actually, several programs: Earth Solution A, Earth Solution B, Earth Solution C. and he brings up a image of the holding cell where Azimuth is being held. Dismisses that.
Oh, she gives you a wave before you.
I think yeah. So she waves, and he sort of scowls and dismisses it, and that's the last we see of her. See of him.
Oh, poor Loki. All right. If you have any questions, it could be anything. Honestly, if you could ask like a question like, "Oh, who's the secret supervillain that's masquerading as the mayor," or you can invent something ridiculous. Like I don't know. Who are your real parents?
So yeah, I think I'd like to know who is the spider.
Oh. Oh man, the spider. I think you see kind of like the latest dossier that A.E.G.I.S has on this, and you see like files on several incidents. You see your name. You see like that bit where Coyote tried to steal your friend Saguaro in the middle of a school day. Do you remember that fight where you had to save the masked marauder? Where did Hardsuit take off her helmet in front of you?
Yes,
I think it was in front of you. Yes, it was in front of you. Yes, and you see like you see kind of like suppositions on who the spider is, and see kind of like you see like the most recent like they've updated, like they pinpointed down who the spider is, and the spider is it's, for one thing, what you know is it's not the first spider. This is someone who's kind of clearly taken over quite recently. It's kind of taken the operations by herself, and you can tell. I'm not sure if. Let's see how. Okay, you know what? Feck it. Let's go full super melodrama, ridiculous superhero comic book nonsense. You know how you said your mother got new employment lately?
Nice.
Yeah. What do we last see of Spectre? upon discovering that.
So I think we'll see kind of a shot of Spectre in his costume, perched on a rooftop in Shoreline, watching as like some the men in suits kind of are there's a sort of a bar or something down below that they're going into. I think that's the last we see of him.
Oh dear. Finally, Purple, do you have any burning questions you want to know?
It's my first session.
Your first session, you must have some. Oh, go on.
Yeah, not much to develop on. Yeah, let's go with something you suggested. Who are my real parents?
Okay. All right.
You're so wild.
Oh yeah, because you don't know who your parents are.
Yeah, I was born in an explosion.
You were born in an explosion. Oh my god. Oh man. Jesus, we're getting into the big stuff. I think you can probably see like, oh man, that's so much. It's so much pressure now.
Take your time.
No, I think for this one, as much as I want to keep tying it to every other bullshit storyline that's happening, no, I think. Oh, I know what it is. Your A.E.G.I.S has a file on your birth, which is they call it the Saint Bernard Hospital incident or something, and it's a bit of a fluke because what happened is that explosion that really didn't. What you can see from like their dossier and whatnot is that that explosion came from an outside source, and they surmised that what happened was just out of luck, some kind of probe from the sky kind of like shot down and kind of exploded upon your, I think it was right in front of your hospital room, and you took the brunt of that explosion. But because it has weird cosmic alien powers, that energy kind of smashed into you as it incinerated or kind of blew up everything around you.
It wasn't me. Well, not
So that, yeah,
not
that's what you learned. Yeah, that's what you learned. It wasn't you. But that's how you're getting your powers. So what's the last we see of Purple for now?
I think he kind of goes to his last agent person, Portia Carlos, I think, and says like, I don't think A.E.G.I.S is with for me. I think I'll go back to some monster family. You guys are weak.
She's gonna raise an eyebrow down. It's like, I don't know, we're a lot of things, but weak. She kind of does the calculus in her head. Well, we're large, unwieldy, easy to kind of penetrate, easy to exploit. She's doing the maths in her head. Well, I look. We have to let. I guess we have to let you go if we want to say we're egalitarian.
Like, I'll still come for training, but like, I'm not interested in being an agent. I don't think so. It's not fun. It was easy, too easy.
Well, if you thought being an agent's just easy, I'm not gonna try to disabuse you of that notion. You're better off thinking that. Michael, just gonna pat you in the shoulder.
And I just fly away. Why the hell not?
Oh yeah. In the there, just something nice and simple. All right. Thanks everyone for all that. Thanks very much. That was you. I think whatever happens, you all were fucking fantastic. I'm gonna stop this broadcast. Thanks again. You're all.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're fucking ridiculous characters. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this here. And